Not too bad. How are you doing? Fine. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Nice to see you all here. So, we're going to start with a piece from a new album. Came out last month. Thank you for that tentative vote of confidence. It's an all-instrumental collection of pieces, and so, you know, those of you who are very, very attached to the lyrics could probably ignore it. But, you know, those of you who are interested in a bunch of guitar, you might like it. Anyway, this is a piece from it. This is called Bardo Rush. have a little problem. I've got these are monitors, this is not a hearing aid, despite the appearances. These things let us hear what you're hearing, basically, from this angle. So, but mine are cutting out constantly, and out more than they're in, actually. It's a problem right now. So we might have to do something about that right now. I'm going to just take one of them out and see if that helps. This is John Aaron Cockburn sitting on stage. Sorry, John, what did you say? If we need to change the frequencies, maybe we should do that, yeah. Probably good. Pardon the interruption here. If we can fix this right now quickly, it would be better for the whole evening. If we can't, well, you know, we'll just carry on. It'll still be okay. For you. Yeah, so just bear with us for a minute here. I gotta say, it's nice to be back here with all you guys. These things out there. When this isn't working, then I can't hear anything at all because these things are plugging my ears. So this way, at least it's like being in a room with you people, strangely. So I don't know. It may turn out that this is John Erickson here working on the machinery, and that's who's mixing the sound that you're hearing. If you don't like what you're hearing, speak to him, not me. But in any case, hopefully we'll get this fixed in very quickly.
You have a cool wizard shirt there.
Thank you for observing that. Yes. My mother made this shirt about 35 years ago. Thanks. I'll let you know. Thank you. Never knew there was this much choreography involved in a show like this, did you? Let's see. Yeah, it's still doing it. So it's something else. There's like a ton of RF coming through, hissy RF, and then it cuts out. So it's still doing it. So. It wasn't doing it when we sound checked this afternoon. It was perfectly fine. So I don't know. Maybe it's something you guys brought with you. I don't know. You know, all that energy has to go somewhere. Anyway, I think we should carry on.
Carry on, Bruce.
It'll be what it will be. What? Had the thing in my ear. I can't hear what he's telling me.
Is it a bone?
Everything's beautiful. Really. Sorry. This is my nephew. Yes, John Aaron Cockburn. Yes, it's rare we have a chance to just sort of converse like this. Sorry, I have to confess that I can't really see you very well at the lights. You're kind of a dark pit full of energy and voices, but it feels good, I have to say. And you're still alive. Both of us are. This is a good thing. we could pretend it's the end of the show and you can sort of holler out titles and stuff. I don't know if we're going to do them, but.
Did you bring your bike?
I didn't bring my bike. I have osteopenia and I'm not allowed to fall, so I can't ride my bike anymore. It pisses me off, actually, that, but it's a fact of life.
Or from the new album?
More from the new album. Yes, we'll get there. Once we get to be able to do anything, we'll get there too. There'll be, you're going to hear a mixture of things, but. Yeah, put in my credit card. That's if only it were that simple. Well, there, I've got you in there right now. Momentarily, when John gets back to the soundboard, we'll be able to see if it's actually going to carry on like that. Hello, hello. There's my dulcet tones, and. Okay. So far, so good. Slid out of my dreams like a baby out of a nurse's hands onto the hard floor of day. I've been wearing OJ's gloves and I couldn't get them off. It was too early, but I couldn't sleep. Showered and dressed and stepped out into the heat. The parrot things on the porch next door announced my arrival on Charter Street with their finest rendition of squealing brakes. And down at Caldy's Cafe, the newspaper headlines promised new revelations about Prince Charles's Amex account. A morose youth in old-time Austrian drag stared past his mustache at the floor. And last night's punks and fetish kids, all tattoos and metal bits. And in the other corner, wearing the white trunks, today's tourists, already sweating. Deep in the city of the saints and fools, pearls before pigs and done become Jews. I sit down with tigers, I sit down with lions. None of them know who exactly I am. away. Give it away. Thank you.
Face the cage. Face the cage. Please and thank you.
Amen.
For being polite about it.
I appreciate that. Your politeness. What happens when you're not polite? I wonder about that. I shouldn't wonder? Perhaps not. All right. I'm sipping Florida Canyon lime juice. It's 3 a.m. Blow a fruit fly off the rim of my glass. The radio's playing Superchunk and the Friends of D. Martinez. Midnight it was bike tires, blacking the potholes, milling humans, shivering energy glow, fusing the spaces between them with bar throb, bass and laughter. If this were the last night of the world, what would I do? What would I do that was different? Unless it was champagne with you. I learned as a child not to trust in my body. I've carried that burden through my life. But there's a day when we all get to be pried loose. If this were the last night of the world, what would I do? What would I do that was different? Unless it was champagne with you. I've seen the flame of hope among the hopeless, and that was truly the biggest heartbreak of all. That was the straw that broke me open. If this were the last night of the world, what would I do? What would I do that is different, unless it was champagne with you? UK. I wrote that song in the run-up to Y2K. We were all waiting for the planes to fall out of the sky. No more Facebook. Wouldn't that be? Yeah. Where is it when you need it? I played a gig in Toronto, an outdoor show on New Year's Eve 2000. There were other acts on the bill, but it was, I forget what it was about. Well, it was about Y2K. It was a big event, you know. If you're not busy hiding, come to our show. So it was freezing. It was really brutal. People who were emceeing were wearing big parkas with fur around the face, and the wind was coming off Lake Ontario. It was bitter. And to top it all off, 3 little 12-year-old boys ran by the front of the stage and threw bolts at us. They thought they were being really cool, I'm sure. You know, they were. Well, the whole thing was cool, but it was annoying. But they didn't do it for long. They kind of did it and ran away before somebody stopped them. But anyway, there was frozen bolts. Through from here you can hear the night train passing. That's the sound somebody makes when they're getting away, leaving next week's hanging jury far behind them, a prisoner only of the choices they made. Night train. The dark drink shines like starlight. The moon is floating somewhere out at sea. I'm an island in the blur of noise and color. Alcatraz, St. Helena, Patmos of the shadow deep. Night train.
where somebody else can stand. Till the sea that binds us like the force and tide of a bloodhound. We'll wear it down, dissolve it, recombine it. Anyone can die here, they do it every day. It doesn't take much effort, though it goes against the grain. And the ultimate forgetfulness of violence sweeps the landscape like the headlight of a train. Night train. Ice cube in a dark drink shines like starlight. Starlight shines like glass shards in dark hair. And the mind's eye tumbles out along the steel track, fixing every shadow with its stare. Night train. Night train. And in the absence of a vision, there are nightmares. And in the absence of compassion, there is cancer, whose banner waves over palaces and mean streets. And the rhythm of the night train is a mantra.
somebody pointed out at one time that in the 70s when the first albums were coming out, there was a whole lot of sunlight.
Yeah.
Sun-wheel dance. This is that was kind of representative of the general tone of things. General, not exclusively that, but somewhere in there was a shift, and after that there was a whole lot of night in the songs, which isn't necessarily to say that that things got darker. In the figurative sense, but I don't know. I've always been kind of fascinated with the look of light at night, with the gleam of streetlights and car metal, and the warmth of people's windows when you walk by after dark. So this song is kind of coming from that place. gentleman just asked how many countries I've been to. I don't know, actually. Quite a few. Not all of them. There's a lot of ground left to cover. Not quite sure I'll be able to make it in the time allowed, but never know. Here's a song from that exotic nation known as Canada. Crashing in the kitchen, noises in the hall, roll over and go back to sleep. It's just a dream, that's all. That was like a time jump or something. Police arrive, muddy up the floor. Blaster on the back porch, shaking up the lane. Drinking gin and joking, laughter falling down like rain. Everybody wears a halo, never saw wild 80s. Here's, this is San Francisco, somewhat more currently.
Disappearing leaves of a cafe society, a separate community. Cafe society, misery loves company. Hey, it's a way to start the day. Society, talking of a storm, talk about the NASDAQ and the racing form, talk about the opera, talk about cars, talk about the desert of the colonies of Mars. Talk about tsunamis and the crazies with their guns, crazy ass policemen shooting everything that runs. Well, cafe society, the sip of community. Society, misery loves company. Hey, it's a way to start the day. Ships that fly the swelling seas. Somebody went to heaven, left some parts in the bay, but he's a friending of a friending, I don't know him anyway. Flapping lips of flatulence, fellow, vote for me. Everything is spinning, looming entropy, but cafe society, a sip of community. Cafe society, misery loves company. And hey, it's a way to start the day. Oh, cafe society, a sip of community. Cafe society, misery loves company. And hey, it's a way to start the day.
very much.
Bring out the bling. Bring out the bling.
It's not quite as good as taking my clothes off, but nearly. You don't be careful what you wish for. You getting hit with this? Yeah, sorry. There should be a sign outside saying bring your sunglasses, but there isn't.
I love the pounding of hooves. I love engines that roar. I love the wild music of waves on the shore. And the spiral perfection of a hawk when it soars. I love my sweet woman down to the core. There's roads and there's roads, and they call, can't you hear it? Roads of the earth and roads of the spirit. The best roads of all are the ones that aren't certain. One of those is where you'll find me till they drop the big curtain. Hear the wind moan in the bright diamond sky. These mountains are waiting, brown, green and dry. I'm too old for the term, but I'll use it anyway. I'll be a child of the wind till the end of my days. Little round planet in a big universe. Sometimes it looks blessed, sometimes it looks cursed. Depends on what you look at, obviously. But even more, it depends on the way that you see. Hear the wind moan in the bright diamond sky. These mountains are waiting, brown, green and dry. I'm too old for the term, but
Thanks very much. I'll do one more song and then take a break.
Dine out.
This song is a little bit distinct from most of my stuff because it was written at the invitation of someone else. I'm generally not inclined to write that way. I kind of sit around waiting for the good idea and try to grab it and wrestle with it when it comes. So I'm, not used to writing on demand, but in this case the invitation came from some people who were making a documentary film in Toronto about the life and times of the late Canadian poet Al Purdy, who was a brilliant poet and an interesting character. And although I never met him when he was alive, he died in about 2000, but it was a great honor to be asked to, I felt, to be asked to contribute something to this film, and so I said yes, and without actually having any clear idea of what that meant. It's like, oh, I hope I'm right about this. And I had some, there were things I didn't want to do. I didn't want to write a song as if I were Al Purdy because I never met him, and I didn't want to write a song about Al Purdy, like Al Purdy, riding through the glen. Some sort of English ballad about Al Purdy. And it's appropriate, and although he might have liked that, actually. So I was kind of wondering how I would approach this, and an image came into my mind of this older homeless guy who's obsessed with the poetry of Al Purdy and stands there on the street with his coattails flapping in his hair, blowing in the wind, and he's ranting the poetry of Al Purdy at passers-by. So the first person voice in this song is that guy.
Swaying boxcar doorway, moving east away from the sunset. And after a while the eyes digest a country, and the belly perceives a mapmaker's vision in dust and dirt on the face and hands here. Its smell drawn deep through the nostrils, down to the lungs, and spurts through the bloodstream. Campaigns in the lower intestine, chants love songs to the kidneys. After a while there was no arrival and no departure possible anymore. You are where you are always going, and the shape of home is under your fingernails. I'm the product of some parents of the sort that shouldn't breed. Schooling past learning how to read. Caught the poetry bug in some forgotten institution. When first I did embark on this career of destitution. The beauty of language set a hook in my soul. Me like a bread crust soaking soup from the bowl. You can call this a rant, but I declare, Al Purdy's poems are the name of the game. The winds of fate blow where they will. I'll give you 3 Al Purdys for a $20 bill. In the counting house, counting out the bacon. Matters getting darker in the universe they're making. They love the little guy until they get a better offer. With the dollar getting smaller, they can fit more in their coffers. And the doings on the corner, neither sung nor seen. They're circling the shopping carts of children and queen. I resemble that assembly, but I'm not the same. Purdys poems are the name of my game. The winds of fate blow where they will. I'll give you 3 Al Purdys for a $20 bill. But respect the word. I got some lines I want to spin you that you ought to have heard. The winds of fate blow where they will. I'll give you 3 Al Purdys for a $20 bill. Where they will. I'll give you 3 Al Purdys for a $20 bill. And after the essence of everything had exchanged itself for words and became another being and could even be summoned from the far distance, we chanted a spell of names and we said, mountain be our friend, and we said, river guard us from enemies, and we said what it seemed the gods themselves might say if we had dreamed them and they had dreamed us from their high places. And they spoke to us in the forest, from the river and the mountain. And the mouths of the ochre painted dead had speech again. And the waters spoke, and the speech had words. And our children remembered.
Thanks a lot. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll see you then. Nice break? Well, it's very nice to see you again. One of the nice things about coming to the DC area is that there's a whole lot of family around here. And a whole lot of family are here tonight, and so I'd like to give a shout out to the Hannah gang and extensions thereof, and a special shout out to Annabelle Hannah, who turns 14 today. So, glad to be able to be doing this. This is a piece from the new CD that The new album's called Crowing Ignites, and there's a story there, but you have to buy the album to find out what it is. Somebody in a preview of the show we did the other night in the Philadelphia area wrote the title of the album as Igniting Crows. Hadn't thought of that. It's actually kind of an interesting image, but not one I think I want to own. But anyway, Crowing Ignites has to do with the Cockburn family and the family motto and history and stuff like that. But this is a piece from that, another one, and this was written on Martin Luther King Day this year, and because it was Martin Luther King Day, and because of the kind of the feel of the piece, it seemed appropriate to reference him in the title of it. So it's called April in Memphis. It's interesting how people react to this thing. There's kind of you're interesting because it usually breaks down into one of two conspicuously different demographics. There are the people who go, ha ha ha, and the people who go, ah. But you have both going. So this is. What is it? Was that the question? This is. It's called a charango. It's a Latin American instrument native to the Andes region. The traditional ones are made out of the shell of an armadillo. This is a solid body electric one. It doesn't have any animal products. Well, maybe this side, I'm not sure. But the traditional ones that are made out of an armadillo are said, if they are a very good one, to continue to grow the hair on the shell after you take it home from the store. So I don't know, I've never seen one of those. I mean, you picture this charango with like hair hanging down to the guy's knees or whatever. I have a traditional one made out of the shell of an armadillo. I have this one because that one didn't amplify very well for use on stage, but it also fell apart thanks to an airline at one point too. But it didn't grow any hair, so it probably wasn't a good one anyway. In any case, charango is what this is. It has 10 strings. It's kind of sort of a cross between the ukulele and the mandolin and a few other things. Armadillo. There's a bone in my ear, keeps singing your name. Sometimes it's like pleasure, sometimes it's like pain. It's a small voice and quiet, but I hear it play. There's a bone in my ear, keeps singing your name. In my heart there's an image, like looking through glass. Could be looking at me, could be looking right past. I don't like it when I can't tell which is true, but I wouldn't trade the world for that picture of you.
laying out like an offering where two currents meet. The river is dark, but the water is sweet. Wailing on the mountain, smoke on the wind. Can't drown out the whisper or the scent of your skin. Don't know where it came from, but I know where it came. There's a bone in my ear, keeps singing your name. Slick as a dealer in a green eye shade. Aces tricks up his sleeve and he's not afraid. The mayor in his uniform, monkeys have been well paid. Climbing up the ivy to the balcony above, where pines the heart of my one true love. Obsession, delusion, all that waits is a fateful shove. All the sights I've seen, in the depth of the world and the heart of a dream. Ooh-wee, all the places I've been, each one reflected in the states I'm in. Oh, states I'm in. In the treetops, motors in the road, structures of darkness that the dawn corrodes, into the title montage of a new episode. Whisper wells up from the deeps untrod, overflows its channel and spreads abroad, gathers in power like a lightning rod. All the sights I've seen, in the depth of the world and the heart of a dream. Ooh-wee, all the places I've been, each one reflected in the states I'm in. Oh, states I'm in. Ooh-wee, all the sights I've seen, in the depth of the world and the heart of a dream. Ooh-wee, all the places I've been, each one reflected in the states I'm in. States I'm in. ship to carry me to sea. 2,000 years and half a world away. Dying trees still will grow greener when you pray. 2,000 years and half a world away. Dying trees still will grow greener when you pray. Silver scales flash bright and fade in reeds along the shore, like a pearl in a sea of liquid jade. His ship comes shining like a crystal swan in a sky of suns. His ship comes shining. sharks, backed by the guns of market-hungry military profiteers, whose word is a swamp and whose prowess smeared with the blood of the poor. Who rob life of its quality, who render rage a necessity, by turning countries into labor camps, modern slavers and drag as champions of freedom. Sinister, cynical instrument who makes the gun into a sacrament. The only response to the deification of tyranny by so-called developed nations' idolatry of ideology. North, south, east, west, kill the best and buy the rest. It's just spend a buck to make a buck. You don't really give a flying fuck about the people in misery. IMF, dirty MF, takes away everything it can get. Always making certain that there's one thing left. Keep them on the hook with its affordable debt. See the paid-off local bottom feeders passing themselves off as leaders. Kiss the ladies, shake hands with the fellas, and it's open for business like a cheap bordello, and they call it democracy. 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 See the loaded eyes of the children too, trying to make the best of it the way kids do. One day you're gonna rise from your habitual feast to find yourself staring down the throat of the beast they call the revolution. IMF, dirty MF, takes away everything it can get. Always making certain that there's one thing left. Keep them on the hook with its affordable debt. And they call it democracy. And they call it democracy. And they call it democracy. Nice tone.
Bruce, because he tells them about your
Here we go.
Nice to be in a place where one can sing songs like that and not be shot. Let's hope it stays that way.
It's dicey. I don't know.
of a tanker at the center of a stain, and the waves of Dead Sea things slide slick on to the stones, and the flux thicker than water from the planet's pierced bones. In a jeweler's armored window, you can just cast your eyes on a diamond-crusted pendant in the shape of Bart Simpson, through mirrored cops in armor, and the drift of gas clouds, and the drones the size of horseflies scrutinizing the crowds, and the horsemen on a high ridge, they wheel and they ride, their work all done for them by the turgid black tide. Falls river, dark flow, how far do we have to go? Torrent tumbles to sea, this ain't the way it's supposed to be. Falls river, Falls river. Consort of our earth, falls to the polar moonrise. Can you tally what it's worth? We can spend it till we end it, while the heat climbs up the graph, till we're panting like a salmon with its gill hooked on a gaff, and the dark blood keeps flowing like a hemorrhage from the womb that birthed us, gave us substance. On our own heads be our doom. Falls river, dark flow, how far do lives into another day, and I'm thinking about eternity. Some kind of ecstasy got a hold on me. I had another dream about lions at the door. They weren't half as frightening as they were before, but I'm thinking about eternity. Some kind of ecstasy got a hold on me. Walls, windows, trees, waves coming through. You being me and I'll being you, together in eternity. Some kind of ecstasy got a hold on me. Up among the firs where it smells so sweet, or down in the valley where the river used to be, I got my mind on eternity. Some kind of ecstasy got a hold on me, and I'm wondering where the lions are. 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 Oh, wondering where the lions are. Wondering where the lions are. Yeah, yeah. Huge orange flying boat rises off a lake. 1,000-year-old petroglyphs doing a double take, pointing a finger at eternity. I'm sitting in the middle of this ecstasy. Young man marching, helmet shining in the sun, polished and precise like the brain behind the gun. Should be, they got me thinking about eternity, but some kind of ecstasy got a hold on me. And I'm wondering where the lions are. 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 Oh yeah, yeah. Wondering where the lions are. Oh yeah, yeah. Wondering where the lions are. Yeah, 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 yeah. Freighters on and on the surface of the bay. One of these days we're gonna sail away. Gonna sail into eternity. Some kind of ecstasy got a hold on me. And I'm wondering where the lions are. Wondering where the lions are. Wondering where the lions are. Whoa, wondering where the lions are. Oh yeah, yeah. facing lobotomy. Climate control center for the world. Ancient court of coexistence, hacked by parasitic greedhead scam. From Sarawak to Amazonas, Costa Rica to mangy beastly hills, Cortez rhythm of falling timber. What kind of currency grows in these new deserts? These brand new floodplains. If a tree falls in the forest, does anybody hear? Species every single day. Take off people who've lived with this for 100,000 years. Inject 1 billion burgers worth of beef. Brain eaters. Methane dispensers. Waves fall on wrinkled earth. Gravity, light, ancient refuse of stars speak of a drowning. But this is something other. Busy monster eats dark holes in the spirit world, where wild things have to go to disappear forever. If a tree falls in the forest, is anybody here? If a tree falls in the forest, is anybody here? Does anybody here? Anybody here? The forest falls.
John Aaron, Cockburn. Thank you so much, Aaron. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for singing. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love that tuning, boy. Yeah.
A whole album of tuning.
Never say never. I'm sure someone's done that. I saw one time in Cleveland, I was there to do some sort of lunchtime radio live thing in a club with an audience. But Public Image Limited was there, which was the successor to the Sex Pistols, and Johnny Rotten was, became John Lydon, of course, his actual name, in honor of being part of Public Image Limited. But they did a set, and they had a really great drummer and a great bass player, and the guitar player may have been great, but he was interesting because what he did was he had the guitar running through what's called a ring modulator, which basically creates a scenario where you don't know what note is going to come out, and he had it running through a very large amplifier with a lot of distortion and everything, and all he did was tune and untune the guitar like through the whole set, over top of this great groove, and John Lydon screaming and spitting at the audience. So you can make music out of tuning. Lydon was very disappointed because the audience didn't throw anything at him. So after a couple of songs and a couple of attempts to sort of get them to do that, he just lay down on the stage and sang. It'd be nice to be so free, wouldn't it? Look so pretty. The walking graffiti, survival's bombs, even the secret police shout that you're the one. See how I miss you. See how I miss you.
See how I miss you. See how I miss you. See how I miss you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's an old song from when there were two Berlins. The woman in the lizard dress wasn't entirely a woman. She was great though. Here's another piece from Growing Ignites. No birds were set on fire. This is called Blind Willie.
Thank you very much. You know, thank you for asking for that, and for all the other songs you've asked for that we won't do. I do appreciate it, and you know, there's a few songs that just don't fit for me these days, and Rocket Launcher's one of them. It's not the time, but I mean, the stuff is going on and it talks about that's not the issue. There's so much division and so much looking askance at each other and so much failure to communicate that it just it seems like not the time for that song. This, on the other hand, anyway, I mean, like I said, I do appreciate you asking for those things, and they'll come back around. But this is an old one that I'd forgotten about for several decades, and but looking around at the stuff we read around, that's going on around us, and the stuff we see, it sort of came back to mind. When the sun goes low and the world turns over, I don't want to be alone. So honey, come on home. If you're in the valley when the dam breaks pally, you're going to feel alone. Honey, come on home. When you're on the bum and the policemen come, if you lose your grip or your trousers rip, I'll be waiting